well, Gong Hee Fa Choi, or how it's pronounced correctly, whatever, Happy Chinese New Year, I guess what we could call it. Yeah, it's called Tet in Vietnamese. Uh, I won't I won't tell you what Lon means in Vietnamese, but every time I'm introduced to a Vietnamese person, they say, and this is my friend Lon, they go, but anyway, it is Chinese New Year's, and this is the year of the snake, or to be more romantic about it, it's the year of the dragon, and dragons are big in all sorts of cultures, including our own. Uh, so today I thought, in honor of the Lunar New Year, uh, in Crowley's The Vision and the Voice, which is a chronicle of visions that Crowley received over a period of time, most of which he received after marching all day long across the North African Sahara with Victor Newberg. You hear the stories. Victor Newberg in a turban and a like a diaper chained to a camel. I don't think that really happened, but anyway, he and Victor Newberg, and at the end of the day, uh, they would uh, uh, they would camp, I guess, and scry the next Enochian Aether. Well, in Crowley's case, in Aleister Crowley's case, it was more than just an Enochian magic uh, Aether meditation, which we all can do. As a matter of fact, I recommend that we all do it. But that series of 30 visions were at the time synchronized with Crowley's major personal initiatory adventure. So, in other words, this was a serious trip up the Enochian equivalent up the Tree of Life, but there's 30 sections instead of 10. That slowly turned up the frequency of consciousness from his head to Godhead in 30 sequential visions. And so his experiences were concerned with him personally in his role of sort of a prophet of humanity as well as his own personal thing, uh, which in a sense, all of you and me, all of our initiatory experiences in our initiatory journey has relevance to not only everybody, but the entire universe, right down to subatomic particles and great galaxies. Like the song, When You Fall in Love, You Change Everything. Sun, moon, galaxies are created. Your genes are mutated. Uh, but in the second to the last, or the second to the highest uh, Aether, and Crowley has gone through all sorts of adventures, and they're chronicled in The Vision and the Voice. Uh, he's getting to the very, very top. Uh, this is the threshold to the very. So it's incredibly inscrutable, strange, mystic. It's the equivalent of the final challenges, the final things that are overcome before dissolving into the singularity of consciousness. So when Buddha went through it, figuratively speaking, every demon in hell tried to show up in different disguises and stuff to say, to keep him from doing that, because when you do that, it rings a bell that's heard throughout the cosmos. So it's really wild, and Crowley is, I guess we'd say, blessed with the gift of language, and also the gift of being able to relate what's going on verbally, so that Victor Newberg can write it all down. But in this second to the highest aether, which is called Arn, A-R-N, came through a wonderful song in a lunar language, what he called a lunar language. And it can be translated in everything else, or Crowley eventually could translate it. And there's papers written on it. Just say Crowley ARN lunar language, and you'll get all sorts of material concerning it. But there's enough in the vision and the voice itself to give us plenty of information, and that's what I would suggest that you read first. But because it has this lunar language, I thought it might be appropriate just to share just a tiny fragment of that lunar language and its translation, and a few words from his description of his vision to sort of get us in the lunar mood. Now, besides today being Chinese New Year's, or the Lunar New Year, we got seemingly every visible planet in the solar system lining up in a direct line that's not going to repeat itself for the next 400 years. And when you hear people, oh, there'll be signs in heaven, and there'll be, yes, when the shit hits the fans, there'll be, well, the shit's hitting the fan out there if you're paying attention to world events. Not that I'm saying that the planets lining up have anything to do with that directly, but it's colorfully interesting. Now, the last time a few planets lined up like this, not this many, but something that only happens every few hundred years or so. I forget what the planets were, and actually I forget the date even, but I was working at C.B. Richard Ellis in the accounting department. It had a suit and everything else, and it was up on a hill overlooking the Newport Back Bay. It was a beautiful place, but it was kind of up on a hill. So after work, I would walk out the front door into the parking structure across the street, but I had to sort of walk down a slope. And I had a great shot of western view of the sky as I was coming out, and I thought, gee, I wonder what happens when those planets line up like that. I wonder what happened. And just as soon as I was thinking that, I fell off I told you this story a million times, I fell off my foot and literally tumbled. And I'm a good tumbler. In the YMCA, they said, look, kid, you're going to have to learn, you're going to fall down a lot in life. You're going to have to learn to roll. So I rolled, okay, and because it was downhill, the next roll I did made me go faster, and the next roll made me speed up, and I kept going head over heels in a suit and tie and everything, head over heels into the street, and I hit a car. a little pickup truck that was coming by. Now I know what happens when those, so you be careful today. But I digress. Okay, I'm going to read something a little out of sequence here. Arn, the second Aether, in the comment, synopsis and comment on it. This is the Aether that he describes as the marriage of the seer with Babylon. Now that's right up there across the abyss stuff if we're looking at things in Tree of Life terms. And the comment on that is the understanding of the curse, that's with a capital C, the understanding of the curse that is becoming a blessing. The final reward of the Magister Templi. That's the degree of number 3 on the Tree of Life. His marriage even with Babylon herself. The pain thereof, or the chant or the song thereof. Okay. I'm going to read what he has written after this song I'm going to sing to you. Don't worry, I'll just chant it. It says, "And that which thou hearest is but the dropping of the dew from my limbs, for I dance in the night, naked upon the grass, in shadowy places, running by streams," or by running streams. "Many are they who have loved the nymphs of the woods, and of the wells, and of the fountains, and of the hills. And of these some were nympholet. For it was not a nymph, but myself, that walked upon the earth, taking my pleasure. So also there were many images of Pan, and men adored them. And as a beautiful god, he made their olives bear double, and their vines increase. But some were slain by the god, for it was I that had woven the garlands about him." Okay. And that's Babylon talking, or at least the footnote would indicate that. Okay, listen to this. Now, and excuse my pronunciation. I'll do it first, and then I'll do it with its little translation. All this is the melody of a flute, very faint and clear, and there was a sort of sub-tinkle of a bell. And there's a stringed instrument, somewhat like a zither, and there is a human voice. And the voice comes. This is the song of the Sphinx, which she singeth ever in the ears of men. And it is the song of the sirens, and whoever heareth it is lost. Mupa talai, tuwa melai, tufu tulu, pa saga. Quimu telai, yapu melai, segu melai, pefu telai, fu tu lu. Ochai belae, wapa melae, tut, kefu la trai, le fu malai, kut, hut, nut. Ai, o ai, relmoae, ti, wala pelai, tufulatai, we, ni, be. And here's the translation. I'll do it, there's only 4 verses. So this, I'm getting ready to translate this. Mupatelai, tuwa melai, tufutulu, pasaga. Silence, the moon ceaseth her motion. That also was sweet in the air, in the air, in the air. Who will shall attain, who will shall attain, by the moon and by myself and by the angel of the Lord. Now, if you're looking for a motto, who will shall attain is pretty damn good. And that would be the tufutulu, who will shall attain. Okay, the second verse. Quimu telai, wapu melai, segu melai, tefu telai, fu tu lu. Now silence ceaseth, and the moon waxeth sweet. It is the hour of initiation, initiation, initiation. The kiss of Isis is honeyed. My own will is ended, for will hath attained. Now that's something you hear out of the mouth of somebody on the other side of the abyss. I digress. Okay, the next number 3 verse goes, now the suffix on here changes from IE or AI to AE. So it's a Ochai Belai, Ochai Belae, Wapa Melae, Ut, Gefu Talat, and here it returns back to IE suffix. Gefu Latrai, Lefu Melai, Kut, Hoot, Newt. Behold, the lion child swimmeth in the heavens, and the moon reeleth. It is thou, it is thou, it is thou. Triumph. The will stealeth away like a thief, the strong will that staggered before Rahur Kuit, Rahur Kuit, Hadit, Nuit, Kut, Hoot, Nut. Okay. And the final verse, I.E., and I'm going to spell this to you because O-I-E is E-A-O spelled backwards. Now, the word A-L at least in Hebrew, is the root word for God. But this isn't A L, it's an A capital I. Now, this may sound like I'm splitting hairs here, but it's kind of very important. So it's capital A and capital I, that's the first word, I-E, and O-A-I, which is E-I-O spelled backwards, O-I-E. Okay, so here it is. Ai o ai, mel mo ai, ti, ti, wala pelai, tufu la tai, we, ni, be. And we've always had all sorts of jokes about weenie bee. Okay, and that may be, I'm sorry, EIO and OIE have a sense of humor. Okay, and here's the translation. To the God OIE be praise in the end and the beginning, and may none fall who will attain the sword, the balances, and the crown. When you say, I got your weenie bee, you're saying, I got your sword, the balances, and the crown. Let's see if I had anything else I was going to share from this. Yeah, one more thing. And this is a little harder, I think, at least for me to pronounce correctly. And now cometh a song, so sweet is this song that no one could resist it. For in it is all the passionate ache of the moonlight, and the great hunger of the sea, and the terror of desolate places, all things that lure men to the unattainable. I'm probably going to slow this down so I can try to at least get my way through it. O Marie, Tessala Marax, Tessala Dodifornipax, Amri Vedara Poliax, Amana Piliu, Amri Vedara Piliu Song, Mari Narya Barbiton, Madara Anifax Sapedon, Andala Friliu. And this is the translation. Doug and Karen James did a wonderful ritual where this song was the climax of it, and it was chanted like a mantra. And they always had a Chinese New Year's Mass too. God, I miss those times. Here's the translation of that. I am the harlot that shaketh death. This shaking giveth the peace of satiate lust. Immortality jetteth from my skull, and music from my vulva. Immortality jutteth from my vulva also, for my whoredom is a sweet scent like a seven-stringed instrument, played unto God the invisible, the all-ruler, that goeth along giving the shrill scream of orgasm. Every man that has seen me forgetteth me never, and I oftentimes appear in the coals of the fire, and upon the smooth skin of a woman, and in the constancy of the waterfall, and in the emptiness of deserts and marshes, and upon great cliffs that look seaward, and in many strange places where men seek me not. And many thousand times he beholdeth me not, and at last I smite myself into him, as a vision smiteth into a stone, and whom I call must follow. And that is our lunar treat for Chinese New Year's, beginning the year of the dragon or the snake. Anyway, that is it for today. Continue to be good to yourself. Have a wonderful and prosperous new year. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will.